Hi there, my name is Skye, and I'd love to be your new favorite art teacher. This week I'll be taking you through some colorful carrots, perfect for the Easter Bunny. Let's jump into today's tutorial. Hi there artists, thanks for joining me. I'm going to go through our materials before we jump in today. I'm going to use my 4 standard brushes that I use in most of my classes. These 4 come in a kit with these 4 sizes. Your brushes don't need to be the exact same size and shape, but they should be the same general size and shape and made for a water media. I use a 3/4 inch wash brush and then 3 pointed brushes of different sizes. So this first largest one is a size 10. It's covered in paint, the size 10. And then I also use a size 3 and a size 3/0, a really tiny one that we don't always use, but it's nice to have on hand. The 3 colors that I have for today's background step, you could mix it up if you wanted to, but I'm going to use my gorgeous phthalo green, some cadmium yellow, and a fair amount of white. To see a full materials list of everything that you need to paint along, check the description box below. It'll show you the colors for today's tutorial, but it will also have a link to my materials page on my website, which is skyepratt.com, SKYEPRATT.com. You can click on the materials page and it'll break it down for you, everything that you need to paint along. Okay, let's jump into our background step. So I'm going to take a little bit of water on my largest brush, and I'm going to mix up a gorgeous sort of a minty green color, which is this beautiful phthalo green mixed with some white. This is one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to come into my canvas with up and down brush strokes and kind of work my way across the canvas vertically with my brush strokes. That little bit of water mixed into the paint is what's going to help it soak into the canvas. And I'm leaving some areas blank still because I'm going to come in with a more yellow green in just a moment. Really simple background today. And again, you could use pretty much any color that you like for the background. And making sure that you go all the way off the canvas so that you get nice, smooth brush strokes. And that's about enough of my minty green. I'm going to rinse my brush a bit and then take some yellow and a bit more white and mix that into the remainder of my green. That's a little too yellow. I want to do a sort of sunny, grassy green. And a little bit of water there too. And I'm going to come in with this yellow green, so pretty, and just add some nice streakiness of that color as well. Really simple background today. Fun, easy, and good for building up dexterity. I think a little bit more of a lighter color over on this side. So I'm going to add just a bit of white. That looks just about right to me. Maybe a little bit more of a lighter yellow green. Don't want to go too dark because I'm keeping things sort of pastel because it is the Easter season. Okay, that looks great. Very simple. Let's go ahead and let this first layer dry, and then we will come back and add our cute carrots. Okay, I'll see everyone in a few. Okay, welcome back artists. We have a dry background layer and fresh new colors on a new piece of palette paper. I have some black and white, a little bit more of my phthalo green, some ultramarine blue, bit of violet, aka purple, some cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, and cadmium red. I rinsed my brushes and got some fresh water at break as well. Let's go ahead and jump right back on into things. I'm going to use my largest pointed brush, this sort of mid-sized brush, and I have a rainbow of colors on here because I'm going to do rainbow colored carrots. Carrots come in a couple different shades, yellow, orange, of course, red, and purple. So you can do whatever carrot colors that you like. I think I'm gonna do sort of one of each. I love carrots. I love painting food. I'm a big foodie, and I love fruits and vegetables to paint or to eat. And carrots are probably one of my top eaten foods. So I have some of these gorgeous rainbow carrots in my fridge right now. I'm going to take a fair amount of white, and I'm going to start with the classic orange color. And we want to leave most of our white untouched and just kind of scoot a little bit over. And I'm going to start with like the one over here from the far right. And I'm gonna do a sort of slightly curved horizontal line, and then I'm gonna wiggle my way down and just come to a point at the bottom. Very pretty. And we might need a couple coats, and that is okay. But I'm going to fill it in with this main color that I'm choosing for each of the carrots. And just get a nice solid first coat down. A little bit curved at the top. Just working on the shapes right now. Okay, and you get to get creative and do however many carrots you like in whatever colors that you like. I think I'll do a sort of a yellow-orange one next. And I'm just going to do that right next door, and I'm going to sort of vary the size and also like where they will start a little higher and some will start a little bit lower. Okay, and definitely with yellow, you're almost for sure gonna need 2 coats. Yellow is just not a very strong pigment. It's very translucent. So to get it nice and opaque, you'll need to do a couple coats. Paint often needs a couple coats. If anyone has experience with like painting house walls or painting your nails, ladies or gentlemen. Gentlemen can paint their nails too, but they need a couple coats almost always to get that good coverage. That's cute. You know, I think I actually want to make my orange one a little bit bigger. It's always easier to make something bigger than it is to shrink it down again. So I like to start conservatively with this size. Okay, looking good. So cute. I think I'm going to do a second yellow-orange one. And maybe this time I'll make it a little more orange. This is sort of our center piece one. So I'll probably do a pretty large one. So pretty. Leaving a little bit of room up top for the carrot tops. Carrot Top, that was a name I was called a little bit. Not too often, but occasionally in school. was never offended by any terms for being redheaded though, because I love the color red, and I love carrots, and I love ginger, so it's all good with me. All right. And of course, we need to do a purple carrot. Gorgeous color. And I think I'll add a little bit of blue into my purple. That's probably a little too much. Don't want to use up all my purple. There we go. That's about the color I'm wanting. Okay, and how about an even taller one? And I'll do a smaller one when I get all the way over. Last week we did chocolate, so this week we're being a little healthier. Gotta make sure we balance our diet. Cute. Okay, and now how about a red one? So that it's not too pink, I'm going to grab some orange, do a sort of red-orange. Wow, look at that color. Gorgeous. Okay, and then that'll be my last one, I think. Got a nice little bunch. It's okay if they go off the edge. Okay. Great. And now for the carrot tops, I'm going to use a smaller brush, one size down, and I'm going to grab a gorgeous, vibrant green. This phthalo green has a bit of blue in it, which is what makes it that gorgeous minty aqua color. But I like to use this green with a little bit of yellow, and it becomes a really nice true green. So I'm going to start from the top of my carrot, and I'm just going to do a few straight-ish brush strokes coming out from the top. I think it might be easier just to go all the way across with these main first lines before we come back and add some leaves. It's okay if there's a little bit of sort of like scruffy canvas texture showing. I think it's better to be quick and light-handed rather than to get really focused on trying to make a perfect straight line and come in there and try to go over and over and over. You're going to get pretty thick lines if you do that. A little bit too much paint. That one almost looks like a pepper. Lovely. Okay, I think I'm gonna use my medium brush. Again, I really love using this brush. And I'm going to mix up a lighter green with my yellow and my phthalo green and some white, but I want it to be a different color than the background, different enough. Probably need some fresh yellow. And I'm going to come in here and kind of wiggle my brush and create some leaves connected to these main stalks, I guess, be the word for it. Just a quick little wiggly blob. And just real quick and easy, just adding them to each one. So cute. And I think I'll grab a little bit of like a shadow color, tap it into those little blobs just to add some interest. And I like to be sort of loose and quick often. Sometimes we like to be detailed, but I thought it would be fun to do a really quick and easy carrot painting today. So we're not worried too much about it looking perfect. Cute. All right, let me grab a little bit more yellow because I'm going to come back and do a second coat on my carrots. Okay, it's splattered a little bit because I'm almost out of yellow, but it's okay because we are going to cover things up in a second coat right now. So let me start with my yellow. I had a little bit of orange in there. You can see how much more coverage I get on a second pass. If you had a very dark background, you might even need 3 coats. Or if you're using a lot of water, that's gonna make it more see-through also. White can help, but it's of course it's going to make it look a little bit more pastel, which is not always what we're going for. Sometimes we want nice vibrant colors. So sometimes you'll see me do a whole coat of white first to sort of block out the area. And then I'll come back with my vibrant colors. So that's an option too. But just another quick coat of color just to get everything nice and vibrant. And you can have some sort of color variation within each carrot. So like this one, I have this kind of streak of yellow over there. I could go with that, and I could even add another little streak of yellow, and I could even go crazy and add some orange in my yellow one. It's always more interesting to not just have one solid color. Almost always. There's always exceptions though. Okay, one more gorgeous orange carrot. Let's do an orange carrot with a little bit of red in it, which I think is what we were going for, but we're mostly orange now. So I'm gonna grab some red. And add some of that there too. Look at how pretty those are looking. Okay, and our gorgeous purple carrot has pretty good coverage already, since that's a much darker color. I'd say that yellow and orange are typically the ones that you really definitely need more coats. By adding this darker blue purple on the outside edge especially, it can help my carrot look a little more round, which of course it is. Cylindrical. Beautiful, and our red one's looking pretty good too. But for the sake of consistency and another chance to add some other hues, I'll do a second pass on there too. And with the red, I think I'll do just a tiny little pinch of black. To get a darker red. Bring that through. Great. Okay, we're going to have patience today. And we are going to let this second layer dry now. And we're gonna come back with our black and white and finish everything up. Okay, so I'll see everyone in another couple minutes. Okay, artists, welcome back to the final step. I just have some black and white on a new piece of palette paper. That last one got pretty colorful. So I got a fresh one just for my lightest highlight and darkest shadow. So I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to do a bit of outlining with my black, which is a step that I like to do. You don't have to outline with black if you don't want. You could use like a brown color perhaps. I like using black. I think it looks nice and clean. I like using white too, but that is sort of a hot topic in the art world. But we're not going for photorealism. We're going for sort of fun illustrator style. I'm going to outline each of my carrot shapes. You could use your smaller brush if you want it. I don't often use the tiniest brush, but occasionally it really comes in handy. It does not need to be a perfect outline. It can be a little bit wiggly and a little bit kind of quick. That can add to the sort of painterly quality of things. But I am going to kind of keep each one balanced. So if I have a thin line in one area and a thick in the other, I might kind of counterbalance it with a thick line in some other areas. So like see how it gets a little thicker there and a little thicker there. And I have this thick line here, so I added this one over here to kind of balance things out. And I'll do the same thing with a little bit of a thicker line on the yellow one. A little bit of water blended into your black is going to help the paint flow nicely. One of the benefits of using this slightly larger small brush is that things do go faster because it can hold more paint, so you get a longer brush stroke with it. If we were using the very tiny brush, it would take quite a bit longer. You would be refilling it with color quite often. Okay, and then up in our little carrot tops, I'm going to do just a few brush strokes of black along some of the straight lines. Not every one, just a few. Okay, and then I'm going to do a sort of a wiggly outline around some of the leaves. And I don't need it to perfectly outline. Doing sort of a, again, a painterly, stylized shadow. Kind of just the suggestion of those shapes rather than getting really picky and trying to get it. And you can have some like right in the middle too. Most of them are going to come from the sides. Some can go right through the middle. I think that's really what gives these that iconic carrot look. The last steps are usually the most important. Everything kind of comes together. So cute. And then a little bit of white highlights as our final step. And I'm going to sort of wiggle some white highlights into my greenery. Couple highlights on the straight lines, being really light-handed and sparing with this. Just a tiny bit. And then just a tiny bit of highlights kind of around where your shadows are. And there we have our super fun, whimsical, easy carrots in preparation for, I guess, our Easter bunny, or perhaps just your spring garden. Such a lovely time of year. Okay, this was a nice, simple one. I hope you guys enjoyed painting along with me today. This is going to be the last painting for a couple weeks. I'm going to take a 2-week vacation in France. I'm so excited. I'm going to France, and actually also the city of Prague in the Czech Republic. This will air while I'm there. And I tried to make a bank big enough of tutorials to post while I was there. But I'm so sorry, it did not happen. I was able to bank 2 for you guys, but you know, I don't think I've missed more than 1 week since I started this channel 5 years ago. And I often work while I'm on vacation anyway, so I decided, you know what? Skye, normal people take vacations. So hopefully you guys won't forget about me. I'll still post some shorts probably, just to keep the creative juices flowing for you guys over the Easter holiday, with some ideas from my old paintings that I've done. But it's actually going to be an art residency that I'm going to attend, so I'm going to be doing some travel watercolors. So I might share that here. I might share that over on my travel blog that I recently started, which is called Going Places with Skye. I guess I will make the official announcement on here that I have a travel blog too. As many of you know, I'm also a writer, so I have 2 loves. I've been working as a journalist for the past 15 years and branching out into something that I love, which is travel writing too. And I'm going to be doing watercolors along my journey. So that should be really fun. It's going to be an absolute dream. I can't believe it's taken me this long to get over to Europe. At least I'm not 40 yet. I made it before I'm 40. All right, that is all the instruction that I have for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Until then, take care of yourselves. Happy Easter, happy spring, and stay creative.